What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the DuClaw Brewing Company, and they're out of Ewing, New Jersey, and this is the PastryArchy, the cookies and cream variant. So this is a white stout, and on the side of the label it says ale with lactose, vanilla, whole roasted coffee beans, and natural flavor. It comes in at 8% alcohol by volume, 38 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 2.5 months old. So I'm reviewing this one as a shelfie beer for the month of July 2025. And I decided to pick it up because the only other beer within the series that I've had was their Unicorn Farts After Dark. Aside from the comical name, it was actually a delicious novelty beer. Why do I call it novelty beer? Well, it was brewed with edible gold glitter. It was trying to replicate I would say, they didn't specify it, I don't think exactly, but a cinnamon toast crunch kind of cereal inspired Imperial Stout basically is what it was. And it was actually quite tasty. I think I give it like a 4.25 out of 5. It was awesome. It was cool to look at. So when I saw this one, I was like, I like me some cookies and cream. So let's get into it, right? So it says on the side here, it says cookies and cream isn't just a flavor. It's the flavor. Inspired by the iconic combination, each sip is a rich, silky swirl of creamy vanilla and chocolate cookie goodness. Skip the dunking and go straight for sipping with this full-bodied white stout. All right, full-bodied, we will see. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. It has the dreaded natural flavor, and they do brew it with what do they say on there? Vanilla, whole roasted coffee beans. Most white stouts have some kind of cocoa in here or coffee to kind of replicate the roasty, toasty goodness you get from an actual stout. This one looks like it doesn't have cocoa, but it has natural flavor. So I'm curious this is going to, be more of a golden color because that's what it is. It's a little bit darker than I anticipated, honestly. Kind of looks like an oxidized, hazy IPA. Ooh. Am I going to have to save that? No. All right. So we'll throw this over here. I am hoping that it's not too sweet, kind of hits on what they're saying. This is way darker than I anticipated. On camera, that is definitely darker. Let's see if I can bust out the contraband flashlight. Yeah, you know what? I'm seeing more like that. See how you guys are seeing right now? Not on the sides, but in the middle. That's what I'm seeing in person. So it's definitely not as dark as what you're seeing. It's more like that. It looks pretty nice. It does have a almost 2-finger of this lightly tan-colored head. More soap sudsy look to it. Carbonation seemed to be pretty good. You can't really make out my hand through it, but if I hold up to light, yeah, you can see the shadow, but you can't make out what's behind there. Looks really nice. I don't think it looks amazing or anything, but I mean, that looks like a gold or somewhat of a white stout, although, again, a little bit darker on my camera, so maybe not. Anyway, let's get a nose. That smells actually pretty fucking awesome. Huge chocolate, like chocolate chip, like dark, like semi-sweet chocolate chips. Like this isn't like pure on like Hershey syrup. It smells like you bit into a cookie, like like say a homemade chocolate chip cookie. It has kind of like chocolate character you get from that, but in the nose. There's some roastedness here from the coffee for sure. It doesn't smell exactly like coffee, but a little bit like just generic roastiness. The vanilla's here too. Now I take it back. Now the coffee's coming. You know what this smells like? If you would get a like cookies and cream latte or like a vanilla latte with like a shot of like chocolate in there. It's funny. Wow, that in like 10 to 15 seconds it went from like I can't just a little bit of coffee and now it's like no, it's big time. It's like a lot of coffee, some chocolate, some vanilla. It definitely smells like it's going to have a sweeter kind of taste to it. And I'm getting, believe it or not, like salted caramel. I know that sounds weird and something like this, but it has like this caramel kind of toffee nose to it. This is all over the fucking place. It doesn't smell, it smells awesome. It's making my mouth water. And it smells like a dessert. That's what it smells like. Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily cookies and cream. When I'm thinking cookies and cream, obviously you go right to Oreos. If you're thinking of like an ice cream, you're thinking of crushed up Oreos in the, like a vanilla ice cream. It doesn't smell exactly like that, but it smells like a really good like pastry stout. Yeah, it smells really good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. What the? Yeah, that was a hard little throw down to my glass. Why? What the fuck just happened in the taste? One more sip because I'm kind of pissed off. I'm not usually angry, but the nose smelled so fucking good. Like, it smelled exactly what I kind of want out of like a pastry stout, and the taste is nothing like it. All right, so the nose, I was saying a lot of pastry-esque things, you know, salted caramel, vanilla latte with a shot of, you say like a vanilla mocha latte, right? There's a lot of things going on in the nose, from the coffee to the vanilla to the chocolate. It had a nice roasty toasty scent. The taste is so bland. Like, it's incredibly bland. It's not bad, but I'm kind of upset because the nose was setting me up for something that was like going to be, you know, rich and luxurious and decadent. And then I taste it and it's just like, nah, it's all right. All right, body mouthfeel. Definitely not full-bodied. I'd say a higher side of medium, though, for 8%. That's fine. If they're saying full-bodied for 8%, sure, maybe. Still a little bit thin if you're thinking it from that aspect. The mouthfeel is a little bit more carbonated than I'd want from something that is supposed to be like a desserty cookies and cream. You want a little bit. They're using lactose. They're using vanilla. I'm just thinking in my mind, like, it's going to have a nice smooth creaminess. It's not. It's like moderately, touch over moderately carbonated. A little bit of smooth character. No creaminess to speak of. I do wonder if this beer got oxidized a little bit. I mean, it's 2.5 months old. It shouldn't be, but the color of it in person right now, like I said, a little darker, but it almost has, like when I say holding it up to a light, it almost has like an iced tea kind of look to it. And, you know, from having some oxidized IPAs, that's kind of what it looks like. And the taste doesn't taste oxidized, but it's bland. So I don't know. All right, so the taste. It has a very generic roasty, toasty kind of like stouty quality for sure. You know, if I was doing a blind, I could be tricked into thinking this is some kind of like, you know, 8% Imperial Stout. But there's not a lot of depth and layers of complexity. It's that roasty, toasty kind of vibe. Maybe a touch of like a cocoa, like a drying cocoa powder. Maybe a touch of a coffee, but I know all those ingredients. Well, I know the coffee's in here. I know the natural flavors are in here. It's very carbonated too. As you see me just constantly burping. Yeah, I mean, it's a generic stout quality, roasty, toasty, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of coffee. That's like the first 2/3, 3/4 of the palate. On the finish, bone dry, mild to moderate bitterness, and the bitterness has like a little bit of an astringency to it. All right, so stylistically, for a cookies and cream stout, this is not it. 8%, that's the best thing. A little bit of warming in my chest, no real astringency on the palate, but there is astringency with the bitterness. Doesn't have a ton of flavor. The nose was amazing, and the taste is such a letdown. This is nothing compared to the other PastryArchy beer that I mentioned earlier that I had that was a novelty that was actually quite tasty and very delicious. This is the opposite of that. It's I don't want to say novelty beer because pastry stouts aren't really novelties anymore. Like a lot of breweries are doing it. Novelty in some degree, to some degree, but best thing about this one is the body isn't overly thin or anything, but it's definitely not full-bodied. It's not sickly sweet, which is nice, but it's also has an astringent bitterness. And the nose is the best thing by far. It's an immaculate nose. It's so fucking aromatic. It's insane, but the taste is a letdown. So this isn't a drain pour or anything because I think it's an okay, like the beer itself is tolerable. All right. So it's going to get a passing grade, but it's not even like solid. It's just like, fuck whatever's in my glass right now because the nose was awesome and it's just not it. So the PastryArchy, the cookies and cream variant from DuClaw, 3 out of 5. This is whatever. You guys know I don't get overly negative on my channel, but something did it to me today because this is, I think it's just the nose. Like if the nose was not as impactful as it was when I first smelled it, and I continued to smell it, and it like excited me for the taste, I don't think I would be as disappointed as I am right now, or dare I say pissed off like I was, because it's like, the nose was screaming something just top tier, and then I tasted. I'm like, what happened to everything that was in the nose? It just went to the wayside. So 3 out of 5. Can't give it any higher. That's like probably being somewhat generous too. So 3 out of 5 for the PastryArchy Cookies and Cream variant from DuClaw. Price point availability, $15.99 a 4-pack. I paid like I think like $4.19 or $4.29 for that can. Fine. It's 8%, has a bunch of ingredients. Price point, it's not bad for what it is, but like after I'm tasting it, I would never buy it again at any price point, let alone $4 a can. And availability, it's DuClaw. I don't know, ever since the River Horse Brewing Company bought them and moved them from Maryland to Ewing, New Jersey. We started to see more here in the Buffalo, New York area, which is cool. But they are very hit or miss for me. DuClaw's hits, I really, really enjoy. DuClaw's misses, I really, really don't enjoy. So it depends on, I guess, stylistically what you want out of the beer. For me, I was hoping for an Imperial Stout that had some kind of hints of cookies and cream. And the taste, this has no hints of cookies and cream outside of a little bit of chocolate and vanilla. And it's just like a generic chocolate and vanilla, generic coffee, roasty, toasty. But it doesn't taste like anything that it's supposed to be. But it smelled awesome. And I can't stress that enough. Like, I'm sitting here very disappointed, saying that the beer in my glass is not good. I don't really care for it too much. It's not a drain pour or anything, just very disappointing. But the nose was everything I kind of was hoping it would be, not from specifically what they're trying to key in on, but just like enjoyability factor through the roof. Taste, not so much. So highs the alcohol, well, whatever. I don't know. I'm done. If you've had this one before, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Like I said, with the availability of DuClaw, I don't really know. We see them here in Buffalo. I pick them up from time to time. Sometimes I'm disappointed. Sometimes I'm not. This is one where I'm disappointed. So check this one out if you're curious about it. I would be curious to know if anybody else's beer looked exactly like mine does, because definitely looks more like an iced tea. A lot of times as an indication to me of it being oxidized. However, this being a golden stout with coffee in it and vanilla and everything, that just could be how it looks. Period. But I don't know. I got to check on Tapped, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review and another Shelfie beer review. Check back tomorrow for another review. And until then, cheers.